Hey friends, Ash here. Welcome back to Gents. Hope you're well. This right here has been underneath Craig on Craig Jr. for a while. And by a while, I mean like 3+ months. I bought this with the haul a long time ago. I'm gonna open it now and we're gonna do the video. Do you wanna know if Sapple Iconic Pour Homme is any good? Yes, definitely. So do I. I am so curious. That's why I have failed to open the box. It has a little sticker for authenticity. I don't care. Ugh. That's okay, I guess. Now I've made a mess. All right, guys, this is either gonna be a hidden gem or total crap. Iconic. Look at, focus. Look at that. Would you look at that? Look at that, look at that. Atomizer sucks. Ugh. Atrocious, the smell. What is this supposed to be? Like Invictus or something like that? It's a little bit powdery, fresh, fruity. I don't like it. Now, outside of Iconic, today we're talking about fragrances that everybody owns and what you can get to upgrade over that crapola. I'm just playing if everybody owns one, they must be good, right? That's how it works. Let's kick things off with this 1 million. Everybody knows 1 million. I know it, you know it, they know it. And this is well known for being a warm, sweet, spicy fragrance, better used during fall and winter. Really nice evening scent. Now, with 1 million, a lot of people pigeonhole this into being a clubbing fragrance and say, oh, that's the only time it's good for, but that's not true. That is racist against 1 million bottles. It's a stereotype. And I don't want any of that around me. So yeah, the whole deal, gold bar, immature, all that stuff, but it does have more wearability than people give it credit for. It's got a nice little floral touch to it. But if we're gonna upgrade this, we do wanna keep in mind the performance. You wanna have something that lasts. You wanna keep it sweet. You wanna keep it warm. You wanna keep it sexy, you know, a compliment puller, attention grabber, but maybe you want it to be a little more, modern, you know, a little more in line with what is selling in big numbers nowadays. Then we're gonna go with this, Stronger With You, absolutely. Now, of course, the obvious choice, and I did with a couple of these fragrances go that route, but the obvious choice would be, I just get a 1 million, but a different one. Instead of the regular, you get the Elixir. Upgrade, woo! Does that work? Yeah, actually that works. You could do that. But like I said, I'm going Stronger With You, absolutely. This one, really, really nice, lasts forever, projects quite well. Another one that stands out fall, winter evenings. More popular, vanilla forward, gourmand adjacent scent profile that people just absolutely love right now. Also has rum, so that's good. Jack Sparrow says it's good. We all know it's good. Why is rum gone? Just a lovely fragrance, and I would go from this to that, and have no problems doing so. Nautica Voyage. This right here, this was at one point in time the cheapy king. And maybe it doesn't have that throne anymore, and it's for multifaceted reasons. It did become a little bit of a punching bag where it was easy to just be like, Nautica Voyage, that stuff is cheap, therefore it sucks. Also, Nautica did, you know, change up the scent a little bit. This OG style that comes with the metal cap instead of the plastic cap is a little bit nicer overall. And also it just became slightly more difficult to find. I mean, to be fair, it's easy to find. But what I mean by that is, in the United States, you could find this everywhere. You could find it in every Ross's, TJ Maxx, and Marshall's in the entire US, easy. They had like 20 bottles of this crap. And I didn't mean that. I didn't mean it when I said crap. But everybody could grab this stuff with ease for like $20. And I think that at that price point, it actually still smells great. But if we're gonna upgrade this, we wanna keep it cheap, because that's what this is known for. We wanna keep it fresh and clean and a little blue. And I'm gonna go with this, Missoni Wave. So Missoni Wave is, of course, similar to Allure Homme Sport and Versace Pour Homme, kind of in between the two. And I think that this gives you maybe a little more bang for your buck overall. It's gonna have a little more push. The aquatic scent profile here is really nice and a little more of an attention grabber. Let's upgrade this one next, Light Blue. Dolce&Gabbana's Light Blue Pour Homme, which of course also has a new formulation, a new bottle style. This has long been one of the most popular men's fragrances in the world. A lot of people will underestimate how much this stuff sells. Did I say that like the most southern dude ever? Sales. They underestimate how much that thing right there sells, man. I'll tell you what. Hell yeah, brother. I love smelling fresh and clean, dude. Oh, just like nice clothes, man. Like I just went outside and picked it off the clothesline. Oh man, Joe Marie says I smell great. My eyeball. I can see colors. I was blind before. So it's always been a crowd pleaser, super versatile, easy to wear, fresh, clean. We all know the deal. And with this one, I wanted to go for something, again, a little more modern. And this is the reformulation, so technically it is more modern just by it being more new than the original version. But I wanted to keep it not too expensive. I wanted to have a nice, appealing, fruity pop in the opening. Great versatility, decent performance. This one is not a beast, so it didn't have to be something monstrous, but just something that gives you a little bit more, a little more versatility, a little more compliment factor, a little more standing out. And for me, Polo 67, the Eau de Parfum. Now, Polo 67 Extreme is really good, but that one right now is just available in Europe, strangely enough. And like I said, that one's really good. It has slightly better performance than this one for me, not like insanely better, but it's a little bit better. That said, when you compare light blue to Polo 67 Eau de Parfum, you're not losing anything as far as strength goes. You're even maybe gaining a little bit as far as longevity and projection. Opening smells great. Really fruity, fizzy, attention grabbing. Then as it dries down, nice modern woodiness that carries through for a while and gives you that usability.
Yeah, oh, it smells really good. I'm gonna use my phone number.
Get used to hearing that. From your local crackhead. Le Male. Look at that, that's a big old bottle. Who has no arms or legs. Its head is freakishly an atomizer. Kind of looks like one of the toys from Toy Story. You know, they're all chopped up and everything. But they did not forget to give it a big fat package and a fat yacht. So that's good, it's real good. So when you hold it, it forms to your hand. So Le Male, this guy right here, this is a classic. And of course, you could go very easily with just Le Male Parfum, Le Male Elixir, go with one of those and be like, yeah, boom, there you go, upgrade, done. And that is true, that is true. But if we want to keep it more like this one, we want to keep it more in the OG's styling. This one, lavender, mint, fresh, clean, with a nice sweet aspect to it. Figure we're gonna go with this. It's Guilty Elixir. Now, Guilty Elixir is gonna be more expensive than the original Le Male, so that's a drawback, but you are gonna get some trade-offs there. It does smell higher quality, which you would expect because it is more expensive. It also lasts longer, it projects more. And this one is gonna get you kind of like, actually, Amouage Reflection Man mixed with a little bit of Parfums Marly's Pegasus. So kind of like take those two and put them together a little bit and you get this Guilty Elixir. And funny thing about that, Amouage Reflection, for a long time when it was first getting hyped years ago, that was compared to this. Basically, people were like, Reflection is the niche version of Le Male. So kind of like come full circle now, and we have Guilty Elixir, which is somewhat similar to that. So it ends up smelling, in a way, somewhat similar to this, just much higher end. That being said, of course, if you would rather go with one of the other Le Males, that is a valid choice. Or if you just want to rock with this one, you know, you can still wear it. You can still wear any of this stuff. Wear whatever you want. What a novel concept. Acqua di Gio. This is the eau de toilette. Technically, this is the new eau de toilette, you know, because it has the new bottle style and everything, and they did change it slightly. It's basically the same thing here. Like both of these are doing the same vibe, where they're like, oh, let's slightly overhaul things, but pretend we didn't. Acqua di Gio eau de toilette, this one of the best men's fragrances of all time. Always have. But you could view it as like a little bit played out. And that's mainly because it has been so popular for so long. It's not played out in the sense that your average person no longer likes the smell of it. That's not the case. You could say it's played out in the sense of it's been around for decades and it's been a bestseller for decades. And so that means that millions and millions and millions of people have been wearing this. So, yeah. And this is the first time, actually the only time in this list where if I were gonna tell you to upgrade Acqua di Gio de Toilette, I would just say, upgrade to the Parfum version. Yeah, Acqua di Gio Parfum, because this stuff takes this and just kind of improves upon it. Even though it's the Parfum and it comes decked out in this black bottle, you can still wear this during the summer. This is not the type of fragrance where you can only wear it, you know, in the middle of winter. Actually, most people would still tell you that's a spring and summer fragrance, but it does have a little more oomph to it. So during fall, during winter, during the evening, this is going to work where this one may not. You still get that clean, fresh Acqua di Gio vibe, but a little more density, a little more depth. More of a woody scent profile in there as it dries, you know, a puff of incense that comes through. Just fantastic smelling stuff. A lot of people will say this is the best Acqua di Gio, and I gotta say, if you're gonna get just one, that one probably does make the most sense for most people. You could also go Acqua di Gio Profundo, the Eau de Parfum version. Definitely not the Parfum version, and if you're gonna get just one, definitely not the Eau de Toilette version. So if you're thinking Profundo, that's also valid, get the Eau de Parfum. The Parfum, I just really, ugh. Stuff give me a headache, man, in the sense that I want my head to explode like I'm in the movie Scanners. Got to bring that up as many times as possible, so like some teenagers out there who are never gonna see Scanners, they look it up. What is that? Oh! All right, this next one is the only one where I'm gonna give you 2 upgrades. It is Dior's Sauvage, the Eau de Toilette, and basically this took over for this as the best-selling men's fragrance in the world, along with, you know, Bleu de Chanel, of course. But yeah, Sauvage right here, you can't escape it. Sauvage Eau de Toilette is everywhere. It is the #1 best-selling men's fragrance in the world. Not Sauvage Elixir, like don't get those confused. That one is also a really good seller. That's like a top 15 in the world, but we're talking Sauvage Eau de Toilette and Eau de Parfum. Those are the kings of the hill. All right, so the first upgrade is a niche fragrance. And with most of these, I tried to keep it relatively within the same price point range because it is way easier to be like, okay, here's the upgrade, something that's $400. And it's like, oh yes, thank you. I didn't think of that. If I had just paid 3 times as much, it would have been an upgrade. Oh, how? I guess realistically, I could do that / should do that, but that's not what I'm doing today, so. First upgrade is Blockade by Mind Games. Now this is close to being outrageously expensive, in my opinion, for like what you get. It's not discounted crazy heavily, so even at discounters, if you can find it, it's usually still fairly expensive, but it does smell really, really good. So, you know, there is that. Now this one, Blockade, is not really a Sauvage type fragrance, but it's as versatile as Sauvage, and that's why it's here. In fact, it smells closer to a little old fragrance called Himalaya. Oh, no, Aventus. Get this. Aventus. But Himalaya does have a silver bottle and smells absolutely nothing like this. Yeah, it's similar to Aventus, so, you know, you can smell this and kind of tell that they took some inspiration from it. It has a fantastic smelling green mango note off the top, which is going to be one of the main differentiators between this and Aventus. And for a lot of people, Blockade would actually be more interesting to wear nowadays than Aventus, for the same reason that Sauvage or Acqua di Gio might be not as interesting to wear nowadays, because it is so popular. But for looking at something that is ultra versatile, compliment puller with the performance and everything else that Sauvage has, Blockade also brings that same energy. I should also say something like Jasada Ambassador would work, or Montclair Sunrise, like this could work also. Both of those fragrances are gonna give you that same compliment factor, versatility, and everything else, and they have a little bit of that Sauvage style to them. So those are super good. But I wanted to switch things up, so I'm going with Voyage d'Hermès. This is the Parfum. So this is gonna give you the versatility that Sauvage has, but it is a different fragrance altogether. It is classier. It's a little bit more grown up. You're gonna get a really, really nice cardamom note here, but it's not as much of like a date night cardamom. It's just a really well done, woody, spicy, fresh leaning scent that you can wear pretty much whenever you want, that not many people are wearing nowadays, but still gets good attention. It is not going to appeal as much to guys that are teenagers, early 20s, probably not gonna think it's all that great. I think mid 20s, upper 20s and up, this stuff stand out. And since we're talking cardamom, La Nuit de l'Homme, right here, the original, this is one of the biggest date night fragrances ever. Of course, the performance a little bit mediocre. Really well known for that cardamom note that it has. So with this, I want a fragrance that is usable during a date night a night out that is very arresting in the air, magnetic, the nice balanced sweetness. I do want a little more performance, and I still want something that's gonna stand out. So going L'Homme Ideal Eau de Parfum. So the standout note here, not cardamom, it is cherry. So you're gonna get a really nice cherry note as soon as you spray the scent on. Somehow, some way, this fragrance has been out for 10 years. That's not possible. It just came out like a couple years ago. Yeah. I know a lot of people who just got into fragrances like over the past year or two are like, what? But people who were into fragrances when this dropped are now like having a crisis. So there's also vanilla in here, there's leather, a touch of incense, and also some nice warm spices. Performance is gonna be way better than La Nuit de l'Homme. Stuff smells fantastic, big compliment puller. Invictus, Paco Rabanne. This stuff pretty much changed the world. That bubblegummy freshness that this had, and of course sweetness, just matriculated into anything and everything. And with this one, I wanted to keep it in-house. I wanted to keep the replacement a Rabanne, and I wanted to throw it to probably the most hated Rabanne line nowadays, Phantom. And this one is intense. So why keep it Rabanne? Well, because Rabanne does sweet more than just about anybody. And this one has a nice little balance to it. There's some aromatic notes in here that help keep it from being just sweet on top of sweet, though it is still really sweet. So you've got cardamom in here, you have rhubarb, you have citrus, you have vanilla, also a good amount of lavender, which, you know, together with the vanilla is basically the Phantom DNA. And you also have some woody notes, some light woods in there as well, kind of shoring up the fragrance and laying the base for everything else to play off of. Now, of the Phantom line, I would say up until Phantom in Red, this was the best one. And Phantom in Red, I feel like is really, really good. It's right there with this one, if not a little bit better. But keeping in line with what Invictus does, this one is not similar in terms of smell to Invictus, but in terms of the playbook, like who they're trying to appeal to and how they're trying to do it, it is pretty similar there. And it's a sneaky, versatile, solid scent that gets overlooked because it's in a little derpy robot bottle. And also everybody loves to hate on Phantom. It's good low-hanging fruit. Like, oh, robot bottle, that stuff sucks. Nobody wants to be like the one guy holding up the Phantom bottle like, but I think it's actually pretty good, guys. Just rocks come flying in. Okay, it sucks. Chanel Allure Homme Sport Eau Extreme. Hype beast. This one, mega hyped. It is fresh, it's sweet, it has a little bit of a creamy nuance to it, good amount of tonka in there. So with the replacement here, we're wanting to keep it big brand, big name, because you know, you're going from Chanel, you still have to have a name that really people recognize, right? We're keeping it modern, trying to keep that zingy opening that this one has, not the same as this one, but you know, that same like lift that this one has when you first spray it on. And also trying to have it just appeal to as many people as possible. So going Myslf Absolute. Also look at the color schemes. They are both silver, so if it matches, it works. Genius. Myslf Le Parfum, Myslf Absolute, all three of those just monsters as far as sales go. Actually, nowadays, this outsells this by a considerable amount. So it's an upgrade in the sense of it's going to be more what is in vogue right now. If you wanted to keep it, you know, slightly more different, but still very appealing, you could still just roll with the Chanel. Same goes for all these, like I said kind of earlier. The opening, nice, bright, citrusy, gingery, and then dries down with that familiar Myslf DNA, that scent profile, orange blossom, and this one having patchouli instead of amber fix, which is amber woods. And the final scent that we need to upgrade, Polo Blue, the Eau de Toilette. Now this has been popular for a long time, but I'll say once again, I don't really like it. Of everything that's up here, this is my least favorite fragrance. But it is still really popular, which means lots of guys out there, lots of guys, still owning and wearing this. And if we're gonna upgrade Polo Blue, well, it's gotta be blue. But instead of having it smell, you know, cheap with this sort of watermelon vibe that this one has, not a really great one either, I wanted something that's more robust. Something that you can wear all year round, daytime or evening. And I settled on just the easiest choice of them all, possibly the most versatile fragrance ever made, right up there with them anyway, Bleu de Chanel Eau de Parfum. Obviously the Bleu de Chanel is gonna be more expensive than the Polo Blue. And if you wanted to keep it within the Polo Blue line, you could get something like Polo Blue Parfum or something like that. And that would be a legitimate upgrade as well. But I think if you're really trying to lock in and you're wearing this for like just about everything, which a lot of guys do. Going for something like this, even as popular as it is, as often as this is smelled in the wild, it's a better choice. The opening is great, the dry down is great. You can wear it to literally anything and it works. And it's also a Chanel, which carries a little more cachet than Ralph Lauren for whatever that's worth, even though I still love Polo 67. So there we go, guys. If you have these, you can upgrade to these, or upgrade to something else, or just don't upgrade at all. Who cares? Wear what makes you happy. If you want to wear Le Male until the end of time, that's what you should do. If that's what makes you happy, do that. It does not matter what other people think. It matters what you think. Thank you guys for hanging with me. Stay safe out there. Take care of yourselves. I'll see you tomorrow with another fragrance video. Oh, you stayed until the end. VIPs. I screwed that up. VIP. See you guys.